Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition, the sixth one today, of Mark
And who's
Isaac
counting?
Potter Presents. We're visiting today with Mac Gluckstein, who the rumor is that he's a human being living on planet Earth. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. I think he's the father of the singularity, is what I really think. So. So I was going to say, Matt, because I do like to have the gritty stuff on the camera as well as all the schlocky professional stuff.
Yeah.
We communicate. You like to receive communications via LinkedIn because you're a LinkedIn master.
That's correct.
As a TV producer, I find that challenging.
Okay.
I've
me
never
why.
really.
Tell me
Thank
why.
you for.
And so happy to be here. Thank you, by the way. So
Well,
go on.
Thank you very much. I like when you're a guest. I can't, if I call you on the phone, I've never reached you on the phone.
No.
If I send you an email, you've never sent me an email back. I don't know whether
No, I have sometimes.
I don't know whether you're a stalker or I always joke about being a contract killer, but I'm beginning to suspect you're not joking. I don't know.
How are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo? Is that a holiday you enjoy?
I love Mexican food.
Okay.
I can promise you that.
What about margaritas and
No,
Mexican
I'm not.
drinks and tequila?
I have dabbled over the centuries in various types of alcohol, but I try as I may. I never was attracted to alcohol.
No? Okay,
I
good
thought
for you.
I should be because it's a nice way to meet people, and you can always put a roofie in somebody's drink, and that would be boy or girl, doesn't matter to me. I always, when I first knew about roofies, I went to a general contractor and I said, "Where are all your roofing people?" He didn't quite understand where I was going. So anyway,
Okay, so we know that that's not alcohol.
I feel like you asked me a question a few minutes ago. Is that true or?
Oh, I did. I think we were talking about how hard it is just to reach certain people, or as a producer of news
Yeah.
or whatever. You said you
Yeah.
don't like getting in touch with people via email or via LinkedIn. You prefer to call. So I asked you why that's something
because
that's
I want to
important to
know
you.
that a TV is a weird thing. I want to know you're on the same page. I want to hear the tonality of your voice, what I call the pausing structure. I just finished another interview. I mean, this was the fifth one of the day, the previous one, where I was the guest because I'm training a new host. And she asked me all kinds of stuff about, I teach a class. I've taught this class 49 times. I've given 500 speeches. As bad of a listener is, I'm still probably better than some people. And I like to gather information by hearing it. And if you're not on the phone talking, I don't hear it per se.
Right.
I can get a little bit from when you say "fuck you" on the LinkedIn like you do so often. I'm kidding, folks.
Yes.
Probably not allowed to swear, but
you may have to bleep that. But I leave that to your expertise.
Yeah, nobody watches these shows anyway. You'll be reassured to know that as the guest.
So why am I even on this?
Nobody ever watches.
No, I'm here to have a great discussion. And I see you're drinking 2 different bottles, or you have 3, so I don't know what each one is.
I've been doing shows lately where I'm on the screen by myself
Right.
talking, and some might call autobiography part 6, and some might call boring office.
Right.
And the boring office ones are fun because I just sit here and I talk my way through doing the emails, or
Right.
I have to send out different kind of notices to clients. And so yesterday I had six different drinks. I had a
Right.
Gatorade, I had a coffee, I had iced tea, I had ginger tea,
Okay.
I had a soda pop,
Okay.
God knows what. So that's how I roll, as the kids used to say. Those people are now, they used to say that are probably now retired. Anyway, so
No,
we're supposed to be promoting your next.
I no, I hear you. I hear that auditory is a big thing for you, and just I'm curious to know why you're an auditory learner. What makes you an auditory learner?
Because all my life I've been involved in communication.
Ah,
I started out in print, then I went to radio, then I went to Zen Buddhism, which is really kind of, in some ways you could say, is preoccupied with silence and
right,
the lack of audio stimulation. But it that doing that meditation and silence does a world of good for a person in almost every conceivable way,
right,
in my opinion, including being able to listen better.
right.
And then, only then, did I go into television, 2001.
So you've been in it 23 years, going on 24?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Done about 700 shows.
Wow.
Yeah, a
How
lot of
did
fun.
you?
I taught TV for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, our TV station was at that time a teaching station. So we taught all the parts of a crew. There's like 10 or 12 people on a crew. We
Right.
taught an overview class. We taught a class of every position. We taught classes in pre-production and post-production, like video editing, which was a thing back in the day. There is no such thing as video editing now, not much anyway. It's quickly
Right.
fading.
Right.
We don't know anything about you except that you're a LinkedIn master.
It's it's
I
so,
heard a rumor.
you know what I wanted to say though. I think there's so much value in I want to do one of those retreats where you go and it's just silent, and it sounds like you've done one. So
You want to do one of those retreats.
yeah,
Okay, I don't give advice, but
you said you've done a lot of silent meditation and stuff.
I am now going to give you some advice.
Yeah.
And I'll back up this advice by a very disparaging true story about my life.
Okay.
I was doing Zen meditation for a long time.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this. Okay, go on.
Then I went to my first retreat.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure it was the first retreat that I ever went to
Right.
that I had to leave in the middle.
Okay.
And I have never heard of another person. I'm sure there's been a few. In fact, since then, I've heard of one.
Right.
I've never heard of another person having to leave a retreat in the middle.
Right.
So if you're thinking you're going to go to a retreat and be silent for 2 or 3 days around the clock, I would practice a little bit first.
Oh, okay. Good words of
You
advice.
may or may not be, Mahatma Gandhi. I'm not sure. You kind of look like him. But
Is it the beard and the glasses?
it's the beard and the glasses, and also
Okay.
the rumor was that the rumor is unsubstantiated that Mahatma Gandhi, and I like to show both sides of every person,
Right.
all these great people have had also some despicable behaviors.
Right.
Each one.
In their own right.
In their own way. Like Dr. King supposedly was a womanizer, and
right.
Johnny Carson smoked and all this stuff. Well, the rumor, unsubstantiated, is that Mahatma Gandhi disciplined his kids in a way that nowadays we would call abuse.
Right.
So that's how I see you, kind of as a. Okay. It's a long way to go for a joke.
No,
so,
it was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So that's some good advice. I mean, you have to practice at first before you actually. What I'm hearing you say before you actually go and try this 10-day, 3-day, 2-day,
right,
or 1 day, and just see how you interact with your environment
with
locally.
Silence, yeah.
Right.
And if you don't do that, it's still okay. You're still going to learn something.
Right.
If you go there and you make a scene and get kicked out or something, you'll still learn that, okay, maybe we should have done this differently or something.
Right.
Now I wanted to. I've been doing shows till so much today. I have all this
energy,
give advice, but here I am giving the seventh. People buy from who they like, know, and trust.
This is true.
I'm sure you've heard this in Alignable.
Yes.
I think I originally met you through Alignable, right?
No, I think we met through networking on LinkedIn.
Oh, Nancy.
Yes, Ward.
Nancy White or somebody?
White.
Or
Nancy White. It could be Nancy White.
Okay. So
could be. I know the name. So
since you want people to buy your product, which is a class,
seminar, workshop, whatever you want to call it, exactly,
how to be better on LinkedIn, I suggest you let us know a little more about you as a person.
Sounds great.
Get to know you as a person. This is like the seventh show we've done, and I don't know. I don't know anything about you.
No, that's great.
You look like you're sitting in the wall to my left, your right looks like you're sitting in a storage compartment in the middle of Pescaloosa, Alberta, or something.
Right. No, these are pictures of my niece and nephew behind me. So
no, but the other wall looks corrugated like a.
Oh no, that's a window.
That's a window?
That's a window, sliding door.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow,
I thought you were talking about the wall of pictures.
I was always hoping I could have a window, but with the prison I'm in, they just don't allow it.
Yeah.
Solitary,
you don't want to show us your ankle.
Not come with the window, yeah.
Of course, you don't want to show us your ankle bracelet. It's okay.
Right.
I understand.
No. So tell us a little about yourself as a person. Like, where did you grow up? What do you like? What are your hobbies? Have you ever had a family, or were you?
I haven't had a family yet, but I was raised by a family, a beautiful family, and I'm, like I said, this is my niece and nephew, depending on what corner you're looking at behind me, and and I just enjoy the outdoors really, and having vitamin C and going for walks when I'm not connected with you here on this beautiful show.
Do you like to go on long walks, like hikes, or
long walks? Yeah, whether it's in nature or just kind of around the city, so to speak. But I'm not necessarily. I am close to parks and nature, but not as close as I'd like to be to more nature. At the end of the day, where you can go on hikes or see water or that sort of thing. But it's always something that I enjoy. I enjoy going to the beach when I have the opportunity. Really? So yeah, I'm a big beach guy, swimming in the ocean and.
Go ahead.
No, going to the ocean. I asked
you a question. Now I'm not letting you answer.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. This is your show, so you can interrupt me at any time. So I'm just truly grateful to be here. Thank you, as always.
You should not be grateful to be here. You should think of it as homework, extra homework.
No. It's never homework.
Study hall after school.
Right. So does that mean kind of I'm in a detention, as they might have said or still do? So am I writing something out or on the board or on a piece of paper? I will not do it again. That was a silly mistake or whatever.
1,000 times.
So I won't throw a tomato at the teacher again.
Right. Write that 1,000 times.
That was probably not so nice, and that's probably why we're in detention right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, so when I have the opportunity, I like to do those things. And then really, I think I mentioned this to you as well, but I love to reiterate it again. It's really about knowledge. Knowledge is power.
So you're not just going to reiterate it, but you're going to reiterate it
again. I believe I said this on the show, and I believe in the power of reading and just to gain knowledge and having discussions with people like you who have the experience and can share their wisdom.
I don't remember that, but I love books with a passion, and I used to have so many books, like hundreds and hundreds,
right?
That when my friend Doug started a bookstore, I shipped most of my books to him on the train.
Wow!
And that was how he was able to start his bookstore.
And is he still in business, retired, or where's Doug now?
No, he's retired from his. He also worked as a professor of history.
Wow.
He is now retired.
I
was going to say something else about that, but I don't remember what.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you and Doug still friends after all these years, after shipping him books?
He's kind of my second longest friend. We've been friends probably very close to 40 years, probably longer than that. I would say 73.
Wow. Okay.
So that's, what is that, 50? That's probably 50 years.
Yes.
So just a very delightful man, very smart, very gentle, an absolute expert on history. He wrote several books, one of which was, more than one, was about the history of disability in the United States.
Interesting. And I guess how it's evolved over the years.
Yeah, exactly. How it evolved. Smart book, great book. He did a bunch of other stuff with NPR. Just fantastic guy.
You know, it's good to have long friends that you've known for so long, because for me, I don't really have childhood friends that I used to be friends with. I kind of moved on from that. Whether I go back in another season of my life and revisit those friendships, or if I never revisit those friendships. Sometimes you have to make those tough decisions. Yeah. And just cut people loose, right?
Yeah. When I was in high school and elementary school, I didn't even know that making friends was an option.
Right.
I was very sheltered, but these two gentlemen, Peter and Doug, I met in my early 20s.
Wow.
Because I was born in 1950, so by 73, I was 23.
Right.
I met them both when I lived in Palo Alto.
Okay.
And for some reason, of all the people I've met over the years, which is thousands probably, because those two men I've been friends with all this time.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's amazing.
Very fun. Very fun. I'm very, very fortunate to have friends like that.
No, that's amazing. Doug, and who was the other one you said?
Peter, a man named Peter Herring. He's been on the show at least once. He's a writer. Rather serious. I mean, I'm a writer. I've written a lot. I've been published a lot.
Wow.
But I mostly write poetry and short stories.
Right.
He writes poetry and short stories, and he's writing books.
Oh, wow.
Couple of book length. One's a novel and one's kind of a novel that presents itself as different short stories, but related, very related. Yeah, and he lives in Washington State on 2 or 3 acres of land.
Wow.
It's really nice. It's got all kinds of outbuildings, and he grows crops. And
wow. Amazing. Yeah,
nice guy.
You go and see Peter and Doug together at the
No,
same time
my
or no?
disabilities, I have a long list of many different disabilities. I have 6 pieces to my mental illness diagnosis.
Wow.
I have 4 or 5 physical disabilities. I have dementia for real.
Mm-hmm.
I have a rather severe learning disability.
Mm-hmm.
So I rarely go out of my house. I rarely go.
Wow.
I live in a retirement community,
Right.
and I will go out and walk around
Uh-huh.
in my community, but I rarely even go into town. I mean, we live in the town, but I rarely
Right.
go into town.
I
So,
see I see these things as abilities, not necessarily disabilities.
oh, you see them as what?
Abilities as opposed to disabilities. I don't necessarily I don't know if I resonate with that word. I hear where you're coming from, that you have these
Yeah,
challenges or challenges at the end
yeah.
of the day that
And I
we work through, right?
Yeah, and I when I was submitting on a lot of my writing a few years back, I
Right.
would use the phrase differently abled.
Right. I like that.
I
I
know,
think
and I did too, and then I found out way too quickly that somehow the phrase differently abled had
right.
fallen out of favor.
Right, right,
Now
right.
I just call myself an idiot, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very funny.
So, anyway, yeah, so I'm saying way too much. Tell us more about
No,
yourself. When
so
you go ahead.
you I I'm going through this phase right now, and I think you can relate to it. It's almost like a creative block, and I know as a
Oh yeah.
writer,
Oh yeah.
those there's seasons for that. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do I go? How do I get over that hump? It feels like there is a creative block, but
Okay.
I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes
All
sense.
right. Now
So
we're
some
okay.
sometimes I find it just happens. So maybe it's really having more experiences or going outside. I mean, like I do go outside in nature and stuff. So I'm just wondering how somebody like yourself has had probably those those occurrences over the years, right? And it's like, how do we get
Yep.
over that hump? Although although I know that I'm putting out some good work, but there's more work to be put out, if that makes sense.
Yes. So
So that's kind of where I'm at. That's the season right now, and I just wanted to share that with anyone who's watching this and anyone who's
okay.
listening, right?
Do you want you would rather we just listen and don't respond?
No, you can respond if you want.
Okay. So
I know there's
you're
seasons like that.
yes. So you're blocked from what?
Not
Sculpture,
blocked, not
welding,
not blocked, I would say. It's just not flowing right now, if that makes sense. As
what kind
much
of
as it has. Like I do some writing and I host these LinkedIn events, which is something that's different, not necessarily creative, but creative in the sense that I am teaching. And but more so just really coming up with ideas. And I've had some great ideas over the years. And it just feels like there is not necessarily blockage, but a flow, almost like
okay.
there's a dam in the way right now, and I know that's dam's gonna break. And so I just wanted to, right? And then everything just flows from there. Does that make sense? I know this isn't a therapy session. I'm just talking about creativity, and I know you're a creative guy, and I see paintings behind you. And you mentioned that you wrote books, and so I figured I could just share this with you.
You can share this with me.
Yes,
I
because you
know
said you're the advice guy. So today,
I notice when I start to talk, you resume talking, and then you talk for another while. So,
please go ahead.
so what you said you're blocked from getting new ideas, right?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
I
You want ideas about what you're writing, about how to teach your class better.
No, not necessarily how to teach the class better because I believe I have that material now. It's just
Okay.
really having that, getting over that creative hump, that's just where
So you're
everything
looking for
flows.
ideas
Maybe
of
I need
things to write about?
things to write about, things to discover, things to, I've often said maybe I need to sit down and read more, or maybe I need to be involved more in meditation than I am right now, right? That kind of thing will definitely help, I think, for myself. But I'd love to hear your take on it.
I bet you would, but it's never going to happen because
Why? Why is it not going to happen?
I would have to be the way I'd like to speak. I've never been able to speak that way because it's far too. I've seen other people speak that way, but only in classes where the price tag was $500 or $600. And I took a lot of those classes, so I know how to speak that way, but
right.
It's definitely not allowed in this universe.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, okay. So, let's see. I I don't know. Let's go forward and then we'll figure out.
Okay.
Sometimes when I do have an idea and I want to tell you, and it's fine, we all do it. I certainly do it the most, probably of anybody who ever lived. So I'll make myself really terrible. I talk over other people, you know. They start to talk, I talk over them, have no idea what they were saying. And you and I are alike in that way, if you get my hint. So I have no idea what I was going to say, but I'll try to interrupt you more forcefully the next time you
I
ask me.
apologize for that too. But.
Well, and I apologize all the time. This is no big deal. I do it worse than you'll ever do it, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Let's sneak in some stuff here about your class. So we do feel like, and it wouldn't hurt us to do a really short video uh, about announcing the next class, because if I may say it this way, it'll be cheaper for me to do that. And I already did make you some. I made you some adverts, right? You saw them?
Have not seen them.
I think I sent you the link in your LinkedIn.
I haven't seen them, but anyways, that's
right.
we can talk about that off here.
Yeah, I'll call you and see if I.
Only if it's on WhatsApp. That's the only time.
Oh, do you use WhatsApp?
Yeah, you use it.
Son of a bitch! My daddy was a pistol.
Anytime.
My daddy was a pistol. I'm a son of a gun. All right, give me your. Even if I have your number, nonetheless, I want to put your WhatsApp number in my.
Okay, we'll do it offline.
My left side of my right testicle.
We'll do it offline, so I'll give it to you.
Are you? Oh, so other people don't call you and go, "Hi, this is."
I know, and I don't even know who it is.
Investment group in Bulgaria.
Of course.
We have a great opportunity for you.
Of course, I don't mind to share it offline.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what were you going to ask? Go on.
Well,
I'm just here to listen.
It's going to be cheaper for me to do a really short video with you in which you just kind of announce the next seminar. Like after we do this, maybe we'll just log on, and I won't do an introduction or anything. You can just say, "I'm Mac. I'm doing this great class with Brian. You're going to learn all about LinkedIn. We're giving away free chocolate milkshakes to anybody who takes a class who's over 12 feet tall, whatever,
Right.
And then just stop, because it'll be short. It'll be 1 minute or so. I can play it a lot over and over. And then I might also make you some adverts if I can get you to approve the previous ones that were more general.
Right.
And my memory's so bad I may have never even made them, but I think I did.
You mentioned them, and I haven't seen them, but I thank you for that. You definitely didn't have to.
I hope I did. Anyway, so okay, so So having said all that, tell us a little bit about your class and how could, the only way you want people to contact you is to be able to
Is
spell your name,
exactly
put your
how
name
they
in LinkedIn.
exactly.
I'm assuming you're the only Matt Gluckstein
Yes.
in LinkedIn.
Yes.
So, folks,
Branding wizard.
who did what?
No, I said branding wizard because I'm the only Mac. So I'm
Okay.
branding myself.
Oh, I thought
That's what I
Branding
mean.
Wizard was maybe your new brand. And I'm like,
No.
this
But
has
it's
become very meta and very confusing.
no. I
Branding
was just
about
saying
his brand,
yes.
and his
That's why.
branding brand is called Branding.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's name is Brandon, so he's got it all going there.
I thought it was more
And his
brandy, but
and
okay.
his boyfriend's name is Brad, so it's kind of a threesome. All right. So you teach a class. Do you teach it in conjunction with Brian, or is he just like the
No, we
silent
teach it.
partner?
No, we teach it in conjunction with one another. So I teach more of the tools of LinkedIn, and he teaches how people can develop a sales approach to LinkedIn and what's the best messaging and
Okay, and then,
what they should do from a sales standpoint. And I help people really boost their profile up and make it look
okay,
good. A lot of times people are missing key things, whether it's their URL or they don't have a speaker next to their name or whatever it might be. That's where I come in and help them with those tools and show them how to add certain key features that will allow them to actually have a more visible profile. If that
okay.
makes sense to you, Mark.
It makes sense to me. I probably am surprisingly in need of all of that following, all
Right.
of the above. Um, how many? So you guys get together
We get
and
together and we
you
try to
do this
run.
on LinkedIn as a video.
No, so we actually do it. We have a paid class. Thank you for asking. And what people do is they click the link and they purchase a ticket to attend, and then we do it through video streaming. So
Huh.
we're doing it through Google Meet right now.
So and
Or
we
that's the
can
platform we're using. And
okay.
and you're sent the link when you pay to attend the course. And if any of this resonated with people, then I suggest you attend. Because we're doing it, you can attend 1 week or you can attend the series. We're now starting a series on May 15th, which will be the first one, is the first one of the series. Does that make sense, Mark?
I had 500 questions about the first
Okay,
three words you said in that
please go on.
in that encyclopedic response, which I totally admire.
Thank you.
Um, I'm gonna get my pen so I can both doodle and hopefully capture some of this information. So you guys do two things. This is what I like about being an interviewer. You break it down because I have a learning disability, and I think my learning disability gives me a strength of
Yes.
being able to explain. I break things down more carefully, more repetitively, more simply, and other people tend to get it better, I think. So you and Brian do two things. You do a class, which is something you've been doing for a while, and then you
Over the
also
past
are
several
now
months,
doing.
yes, exactly.
Say it again.
Over the past several months, yes, we've been doing them.
So you do one every few months. How many have you done?
To date, I mean, like we've been connected and we've known each other and we've been building on this whole webinar workshop for a little while now. But I think we've done 2 or 3 of them at this point.
Okay. All right. Now this is all.
And
Is
this is
that
only
for,
really, I think, since the start of the year.
okay? Since the start of 25. How long is this class? This
So it's an hour. It's
one
1 hour.
hour?
So it's basically the time it takes you to your lunch.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Don't give me lines like that, dog. I have about 40 responses, none of which are funny, but they're all very strange. Okay. Are you going to keep doing the singular class?
No, so thank you
or
for
are you
asking.
going to just,
We're now going to start a series.
Which is going to replace the class?
We'd like people to attend the whole series, so yes. That will replace the class. So it's going to be a 3-week series that we're doing. So starting May 15th May 15th, what's the following week? 22nd and then the 29th. So far, these are all going to be part of this series. So you'll get a little bit of, you'll get an idea, a flavor of what we're going to do. And then we're going to build on that. So it's best that people attend the series.
My father plays dominoes in St. Louis Obispo. Oh, Lord God. Okay. You should have hired me as your producer at some point in the past. It's too late now. I wouldn't take this assignment. Right. So this is the first
of many.
This is the first of the series.
Yes, that's what I mean.
The first time you're going to do this series.
That's correct.
Why did you decide? Well, if I may say, I won't say all of what I know, but why did you and Brian Crew decide to do a series?
Because we wanted people to gain more value and knowledge, and doing it for 1 hour isn't a long enough time. And we wanted to build on a few key points every week. And then they see more value and they take more away from it at the end of the day instead of, and to be realistic and honest, it's really about getting more people in the seats, and people like series.
Oh, they do, huh? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
because it gives people the idea that they can tune in every week for 3 weeks and they can learn something new.
Okay. So is it like 1 hour on a certain day of the week for 3 weeks?
Yes. So it's Thursday. It's going to be Thursday, May 15th. Thank you for asking. And it's going to be the following week and the following week so far. So it will take us from the 15th to the 29th, and it will be the same time and the same time slot. So from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So apply that to whatever your time zone is. If you're listening in the West Coast, or you're listening in the Midwest or Central or wherever you are located. So.
Oh Lord. I'm gonna have to go back and play this video with a recording device over here so I can put all my snarky comments and mix them together. I've had some very nasty comments in my head that I haven't said.
Okay, good. But I like your humor, so it's funny.
Well, I was gonna say, if my humor could just be funny, it would be really
right.
Okay, so
it is what it is.
Yeah, so you're going to do a series. It's going to be 1 hour per week on a Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight.
Yes. Or Eastern Time, so we don't confuse people. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they switch back and forth. They all switch back and forth.
Right. So, I mean, not everywhere, but.
Yeah, no, that's true. You're encouraging people to take all 3 all the way through? It's not a drop-in class?
It's not. We don't like people to drop in, no. We like people to take the whole series.
Okay.
And there's definitely benefit.
Given that you've never done the series before, it's certainly nice to know that you already know what you like about it.
Well, I mean, that's the hope and the goal at the end of the day. If people do want to attend one, feel free to attend one.
Of all the people in the world, of all the people in the world, Mac, you're one of them.
We won't turn people away if they say, "Oh, I just want to do 1 week."
What's the cost of the series?
So the series, we're just finalizing it. it's probably going to be around $99 for the series.
Okay.
Around, so that's a rough estimate right now.
Yeah.
Give or take.
You know, there's all these theories about pricing. Like some people,
right.
whom I hate these fake it till you make it people who say, well, if you charge $1,000, people are gonna think it's more valuable.
Right.
I personally I've been so poor all my life that these kind of classes are very much appreciated. Not that I'm ever
Right.
going to have $99 in one place at one time, but
Right. I hear you.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, so
well, we want to teach more people. We want to teach more of the masses, I guess, so to speak. We want people to attend. We want to get more people in the seats.
The masses.
Not the masses, the people who are committed.
Here we are with Mac Lennon. He wants to teach the masses. You'll forgive me for being myself, I hope.
No, please. No, this is your show again.
No, I won't. Please.
This is your show. Anything goes, as you said. Well, and that rhymes. See, I'm creative right now. It's flowing.
Thinks it does. I'll tell you that. This year's my show thingy. All right. So
this is your show. This is your platform. I'm just here as a pretty face and to answer any questions that you have.
Very good. That's what I was gonna say something like that. So is there a deadline for registration?
On the right up until the seminar will be the deadline.
Okay. So all right.
At least for the first one, we'll see how that goes. So and then we may open it up again. We're just finalizing having discussions to get everything in order and ready to go.
Okay. So now I want to get to some other stuff too, but because I want to say this so I can repeat it later.
Please
if they want to take this class, which we're going to discover more about, they go to LinkedIn, they type Mac Gluckstein, and when they do that, they're going to get what?
We're putting together the event page, and they will have to find the event page on my page, on my LinkedIn profile, and then they will have to sign up that way.
Biting my tongue. Can you make it any harder? Can you make it any more difficult?
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
You have to take off your shoes. You have to walk through a forest in Poland.
Yes.
Fight with a black bear for 2 hours.
Exactly.
And then you'll get the link.
And you might have to run as well from the black bear, but at the same time with your bare feet.
Your bare feet.
In the mud, and you might have to roll and maybe run through the water, the river, the creek, whatever, the lake, whatever appears in front of you.
Right.
Exactly.
So on your page, on your profile page on LinkedIn, there is going to be a link.
Yes, and I will post about it as well.
And you'll do what to who?
I will post about it as well. So they also have the link. Yes.
Imagine that. Wow.
So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I know it's very complex, but we're working on simplifying it. Through the event page or through the link.
Hopefully this show is so funny that we can get John Carson to let us come on and talk about your LinkedIn class, and then you will have some attendees.
Right.
All right. So they do have to pay for the class before the class starts or not?
They do. So that is a requirement. They do. In order to receive the link, they must pay in advance.
And I'm thinking this is non-refundable, right?
This is non-refundable. That's correct.
Because I've been through that with my seminars. Okay.
I know how I mentioned our goal is to obviously build on and have more people attend, but we'd like to fill at least the number of seats that we're allowing for attendance, and that's around 20. So we're trying to cap it at that.
Yeah.
Right now, but we're obviously going to build upon, and we're learning, and at the same time, right? Because we're always learning at the end of the day, whether you're an expert, a master in something.
Yeah. I swear to God, I just got out of that talk, a talk like that. For everything
Right.
we do, the most expert pianist in the world, the day of their next concert, the first thing they do in the morning is sit down and practice.
Right.
And that person has been practicing for, in the case of some of these people, 70 years, and they still
Right.
practice.
Right. It's the whole concept, and I'm sure you've heard this, the cliche is like the 10,000 hours to be an expert, and even still you're still learning.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
think that
That's
number
right.
is kind of not even not doesn't do it justice. It's probably higher. But they say in order to be good at something, it's probably minimum 10,000 hours.
Right. So let's very briefly, I want to find something that people can remember.
Okay.
So I'm looking for like 2 words, literally 2 words or 3 words. I'm being serious. I'm not joking because I joke a lot. So we have 3 classes within this series.
That's correct.
Each
And the
one's going
series
to
is
teach.
new, yes, but we've been doing the
Yeah,
workshops for a while.
we're gonna teach something in each one. Give us 1 or 2 words for each of the 3 of what we're gonna learn. Just a 1 or 2 words only.
Okay,
And
so
later we'll expand, but I just want them to have something in their heads about what it's about.
updating their profile. That's 3
That's
words.
number one.
That's number 1, yes.
All right, let me write that down because I remember better if I do that. Updating.
So you're both an auditory and a visual learner,
I don't know. I don't know.
or a bit of everything.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
Yeah.
number 1 is updating your profile. Number 2 is
Number 2 is really the tools, giving you tools.
okay. So let's put the word tools down, but let's give it a better adjective. Like, are they LinkedIn tools? Are
They're
they?
LinkedIn tools.
You're gonna give us. You're gonna give us LinkedIn tools. You're gonna show us LinkedIn
Gonna
tools.
show
Implement
LinkedIn
LinkedIn
tools and how to
tools.
implement them on your own.
So I'm gonna say we're gonna implement LinkedIn tools. I think I'm gonna make seriously. I think I'm gonna make a video of my own, me just talking about it,
Right.
and and honest to God, unless you subpoena me, I'm gonna just give them my phone number and my name, and then if they contact me,
Yeah.
I can say, okay, for $300, I can help you figure out how to find the link for this $99 class. There's a
as
this is a
as
little bit of this is a
I
little bit of reverse psychology.
like it. I like it.
If we joke about this enough,
People will want to attend.
people will want to attend.
I
Just,
like it. I like your strategy.
yeah,
I'm all for your strategy.
my husband is a SWAT member at the LAPD, so he likes a challenge on the weekend, so he's going to try to find this link.
Right, right. Do I have a sniper looking at me right now? I'm
Oh,
just
don't
looking
worry.
around. Okay, good.
I told him to take the light off the top of the gun
Oh,
so you
thank you.
don't have that red light on your chest. Like,
Oh, okay,
I
good.
always
I'm
kind of like
looking
to
down
see
right
that
now.
before
Okay.
they shoot you. But
Yeah.
all right. And number 3 is what?
Number 3 is actually implementing. It's taking everything that you've learned and it's actually applying it.
Okay, so we said that 2 was implementing the tools. So
I
2
know,
is
but
not implementing.
you have to understand everything in the sequence, and then you obviously have to then take action and actually either do it as we're going through the series or do it at the end of this series and say, I'm going to add these tools. I now know how to sell on LinkedIn better than I was doing before. And so really that's what I would say is number 3. It's really taking action with what we've given you. How about that?
All right. Okay.
So it's the action step.
Taking action.
Because as
Right.
you know, and as we all know, and the listeners, viewers, is we have to take action on something. You're
Yep.
you're taught something, and then you actually have to apply it.
Yep.
And then
Now
if you have
there's
any questions, then you can come back to us or book one-on-one personal coaching.
that's what I wanted to. That's where I wanted to get to.
Right.
So
That's good.
So, do you guys initiate any follow up with the peeps and homies that come to the class?
We usually, like, if we haven't met them yet, I do like to meet them after and have a conversation just to see kind of what they've learned and what they would like to learn in moving forward, and how really we can assist, or how I can assist and help them, whether it's plugging them into the community that I have and that I'm drawing on, and then seeing how. Does that make sense?
No, because there's too much. Too much. This is good though. We're doing, but this is. You have
We're
a few
fleshing it
minutes.
out. See?
This is cool. You have a few minutes today, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm gonna admit to you, as long as you don't repeat it to anybody else, that I'm actually good at what I do.
Right.
I just don't like to. I honestly don't like people to know because it makes me scared that they, But in this case, I like you a lot, so I'm going to actually try to help figure this out. But this is the way I do a class about the physiological rewiring of things,
Right.
full marketing. So you're telling me, and it's rather surprising, that you're going to meet digitally with each one of these attendees after the class is done, so you can experience whether or not they learned something and what they learned and like that.
I mean, I'd like to. Theoretically, I'd like to. We haven't, like I
Well,
said, we haven't done this series.
I know, but
I
is
have
it
met
okay
with.
that we're doing this, what we're doing right now?
I don't necessarily want to guarantee that that's gonna happen, but
Okay,
if does that
good.
make sense?
No, it damn well ought
Because
to make sense because you'd be
right.
promising to do something you're not going
That's
to
why I
do,
don't
and
want to
that
make that
wouldn't
guarantee
be.
or promise that, but we're definitely open to not necessarily hearing feedback. I mean, everyone wants to hear feedback, but we want to make sure that we can continue to assist you. Like I said, through personal coaching on LinkedIn if they need help.
So once they finish the class, hopefully when they walk out of the last moment of the class, hopefully they know that if they need your help, they can contact you and pay for a
Yes,
one-on-one
further
session.
sessions. Yes, that's correct.
So somebody,
That's more realistic than me saying that I'm
and
guaranteeing that I can meet with you.
it's more common too. I was
Right.
surprised you. So somebody, whoever does the last few moments of the class, needs to say that.
And thank you for clarifying that and making people aware
Well,
that is
when I was in AST, I did like 10,000 hours of AST, and I counted them all. I literally kept track.
right.
There was a person who was not the leader of the class, whose job it was to give all the announcements.
Right.
And one of the announcements she would give typically would be, if you finish this class and blah, 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 then do this.
Right.
So if you can get a friend of yours or somebody, hopefully, pardon the way I'm going to say this, an attractive lady, to come on the last day, or better yet, a few minutes of each of the three classes, because repetition is the heart of advertising.
Right.
The first day at some point she might say, well, if you get through this whole thing and you have a question, or you get through this whole thing and you feel like you almost know what you're doing, you have the option of getting a hold of Mac. And now, can they get a hold of Mac and Brian, or just Mac, because you're kind of the teacher guy?
Well, we can decide who the best person is to get in touch with. They can decide.
So if
But
it's sales,
let's
maybe
say
Brian. If it's tools,
right.
it's you.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So they can determine who the best option for them is, or we can definitely help and assist in that process. Whether
I can.
I can't necessarily help them, and then I pass it on to Brian, or vice versa.
Yep. Bear in mind that the things we're talking about today, you may not implement by the first class, but you might implement some of them later.
Exactly.
And bear in mind that people listening to this are operating in my little system called overheard information, which I think we went through in the last show. So I would say have some attractive lady friend of yours or Brian's come into each class. She just has to come in for a few minutes. Welcome today. This is class number 1 of 3. Please remember that if you, blah, 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 you can always call Brian and or Mac and schedule a one-on-one paid visit, which costs, $75 or $150 or whatever it is.
Right.
And if you can't get her to come there and do that, I would say record that.
Right.
Now, in the old days when I did seminars, we would have a big, literally a television set on a cart. And any videos we had, we would play it that way. So I don't know how you would do this. Maybe you send it to all their phones so they can see it. What this does in part is if there's another person in the room who is, pardon the expression, a subordinate of yours and Brian's, it then raises you guys to a higher level by virtue of there being such a person.
Right.
Okay? So it no longer looks like you guys are just two hillbillies that are rolling up your sleeve and trying to teach moonshine repair. now you're big enough in life that you have this assistant or this team member who works for you who says things.
Right. It's almost like, I don't want to use the word edifying, but it does edify in some respect.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have to use words we don't want to use because nobody has taken the time to make a polite, nurturing language about the science of
course,
manipulating the fuck out of people or whatever we're doing. I'm kidding. You guys know I joke. You know it, and yet you always forget.
Right.
What a world.
So no, just when I think, go on. Sorry.
No. So that's it. I think you just do the first class, pay attention to how it went. Don't be discouraged if you get 19.5 people instead of 20.
I'm just using I'm throwing a number out there, but we have a limited number of seats, and we'd like to fill those.
I was going to make a joke earlier when you said you were going to have 20 people. I was going to say, so let me get this straight. You recently did a seminar, a class where nobody showed up. So now you want to do 3 weeks of nobody showing up. Something like that, right? But apparently in the end, you had 1 or 2 or 3 people show up at the last.
Oh, we've had some people, yes. We've had some people, but we want more people to attend, and hopefully this helps them.
Do you have any clue, either one of you, about how you're going to find these people? Are you going to try to find them, or are you just going to?
We're going to try and find them.
Link up and hope they.
No, we're going to try and find them because I have some people that I've been in discussions with about helping them with LinkedIn, so it will be a perfect segue for them to come to the class.
So
and maybe they'll even be able to see
yourself by doing working your warm market. You talk to friends and friends of friends.
Yes, I do. I do sometimes. In this case, yes, I have this warm lead. This somebody I've known for a little while, and she said she wants to rebrand LinkedIn. So this is a perfect opportunity for somebody who is looking to rebrand or knows the value and the power of LinkedIn to actually attend and say, oh yeah, these are tools, or these are things that I can learn, or whether it's sales, whether it's the tools, whether it's
Okay,
the action steps of actually being involved in LinkedIn more. Because I was looking at someone's profile today, and they're really inactive, but they want to be more active, and that's a great lead for us as well.
No, there are tons of ways, dozens and hundreds of ways that we can start to identify the potential clients,
Right, of course.
start to promote in the general direction of potential clients. Um, and I want to say a couple things, if I may.
Please do.
And I'm in my old age, I've gotten way too bold, but someday, not joking, someday I would like you or you and Brian to give me some form of remuneration. And the only reason I say that, and that could be a food card, could be a box of tissues, I don't know what it is, but I do this stuff. I've done this stuff for 20 years. I rarely ask for anything from people.
Right.
85%, 90% of the shows have all been free, but I'm realizing right now I'm kind of stuck. I don't have enough money for my medication. I don't have enough money to run the heater. I don't have enough money for food. So I'm doing all three like 50% time. I'm taking my medicine every second or third day. I'm running the heater about half the time. And I'm eating more meals than I can ever count because I can't get myself to stop eating. So, so I talked to some lady in New Jersey about this, and she said, "Yeah, I'll send you a food card." And I thought, well, that's a nice way because I don't like money. I've never liked money, the concept of money, having money, all that. But I don't feel uncomfortable about getting gifts, physical objects, or like I say, an Amazon card for this much that helps me buy my next set of groceries. So money and I just can't.
Right.
Yeah. So consider that. Now, having said that, I'm gonna on my own time, I'm gonna try to figure out ways that we can.
Well, I'd also
make it more likely that people will attend. Like what's the value of LinkedIn in the first place? How does LinkedIn compare to other business communities whom I could name? I don't know if I should, but there are lots of them out there. And being a social media person, it's part of my business to know where they are and what they are, how much they cost, all that. So we have to, like in the beginning, we might say, well, LinkedIn is the most important because of this. And there's ads all over TikTok that do exactly that. And then we say, but, you may not be utilizing, you're not getting the full benefit of your LinkedIn. Here are some things that most people do incorrectly. And guess what? This problem that we've now given you, we have a solution for it. There's this series you can take, which will help you maximize LinkedIn, which is one of the biggest, has like 1.3,
it does.
1.3 people around the world. It would behoove you, if you're running a business, to avail yourself of this thing, la, la, la.
Yeah, because I see, and I think I mentioned this during our chat, I see people that are not utilizing it. I said I have a client or somebody that I know, and the last time he posted was a while ago. And so he sees the value, but maybe he doesn't really see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
he has
and
to
there's
really plug in. He
probably
has to have more activity. He's trying to build a brand, and he realizes that LinkedIn can help in building that brand. And that's really what it comes down to: brand awareness through these social media platforms, if that makes sense.
And yes, it does. And there's probably a way for us or somebody we know to reverse engineer LinkedIn in such a way that we can get a list of the people who are doing any one particular bad behavior that would, the changing of which would enhance their, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like I'll give you a weird example. Let's say we have, there's like 1.3 billion people on LinkedIn, right?
Roughly, yeah, give or take.
Roughly. All right.
Yeah.
We'll say that of those 1.3 billion, 653,000 never bothered to put their name on their profile.
Okay.
Just to pretend.
Yes. Okay.
Just pretend.
Yes.
Okay.
Make believe.
So then, we find 5 or 6 things like this.
Mm-hmm.
We decide which one we're going to target.
Right.
And then we proceed to put something about that in the advertising that we make.
Right.
And we put something about it in the series, which could be just a mention or could be a breakout session for extra money. Here's how to spell your name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Could be anything. It could be, most people don't put their phone number in LinkedIn. I'm surprised by that.
Yes.
And we could say, well, we recommend you don't put it in, or we recommend you do put it in, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you could do a whole bunch of different series about different aspects of what, if we reverse engineered a list of 35 or 60 things that people don't do and their frequency, like people don't do this, 700,000 didn't do this.
Yes.
1.3 million out of 1.3 billion did not do this.
Right.
It's like, why do the pharmaceutical companies give us a pill that we take every day for something that they could have healed 150 years ago?
Yes.
With one pill, one time, because they're going to make money for centuries.
Yes.
By lying to us, and that's what I want you guys to be: good liars, good manipulators.
Right.
Rob a bank.
Right.
So that's So I think that's.
No, that makes sense.
That's some of the value that I can bring like that. Now, finding that person who can reverse engineer LinkedIn, that's something that I would be willing to work on for a measure of remuneration.
Right.
I will contact my peeps, homies, and all that, and just put this out. There's a guy in Canada, not too far from where you are, who I can probably call. He's probably the first guy I'll call, and I'll say, "Can you do this?" Because I know, because I spend a lot of time in Alignable.
Yes, you see what people are doing.
I learn. I've got some weird technical difficulty here for a minute, but I learn what people do and what they can do and what depth it has. And I'm thinking this guy would be my first call to see if he knows somebody or his team can do it. And then then we'd have it,
Right.
But that wisdom experience is going to come with hopefully a Amazon food cart or something. I know I'm being too forward, but I'm hungry. I like food.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't want money. I want the food: meatloaf, mashed potatoes, chili.
Yeah.
Chicken sandwiches. All right. Where I'm being weird, but I think my brand is I'm going to become increasingly weird.
Yeah.
As long as I'm effective helping you, I think people are going to go, well, he's really weird, but man, he's effective. So
right.
With the weirdness, it's just he's mentally ill. I mean, that's documented. It is. I have 6 pieces to my diagnosis. I've been in psychiatric hospitals probably 12, 15 times over the last 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Had mental illness since 1990.
Wow.
There's tens of thousands of pieces of paper documenting this, probably hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
All right, folks, we're
Thank
out of
you.
here. Sorry the show was so short. Boy, just ran by there. Thank you for all your time, Mac. Let's do another one as soon as possible. I have put you on the schedule for every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 3 p.m. every day this month, every one of those days. There may come a day where I have to move you off because somebody else wanted the slot, but I was so embarrassed about last month, and I do publicly apologize. I did not do a good job for Mac. I messed up. But I'm
it's
trying to
okay.
make up for it by, wearing a salmon shirt.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I'm truly
you.
grateful for your expertise and your wisdom.
Well,
and thank you for your jokes. And you made this really exciting, this short show, as you called it. So,
I hope that all that happens. And I might do a few other things that I'm not going to charge you for, too. Like, I'm not just going to post this. I hope to have enough credits left to put this in Opus Clip and get some clips and then post the clips as well.
Thank you so much for your time. Truly grateful. And
God bless you. Take care.
Thank you.
We love you. Mac is a good guy. Do
Nothing
not
but
call
love
him
to
on
the
the
audience.
phone. Go to LinkedIn. Try to remember how to spell Mac Gluckstein and type it in, and then look for his profile. And then in his profile, look for that light gray link that blinks on and off to the seminar series.
Thank you.
God bless. Take care. Thanks
you
for
too.
putting up with me, dog.
Oh, no problem.
All right.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.